guests, and ladies and gentlemen, I wish to greet all the women of our country's security and law enforcement agencies making up this integrated Women in Law Enforcement Parade. Today marks the end of Women's Month. It is a month during which we celebrate how far we have come in building a non-sexist society, a society where the women of our country are free and equal to enjoy the rights that are guaranteed by our Constitution. Today we are witnesses to the transformation of the safety and security personnel in South Africa. We have come a long way since the first women were accepted into the then South African police over 50 years ago, when they were brought in merely to perform administrative and so-called soft duties. Today, women are taking their rightful place in our police and security services. Today, we have women in the top echelons of our police service and other security arms of the state. We have the first ever female Deputy National Commissioner of Police, Lieutenant General Tibello Musikidi. Lieutenant General Musikidi is one of the two women co-chairs of the National Joint Operation and Intelligence Structure known as NetJoints. They are amongst the women who are leading the way in the transformation of our safety and security institutions. We have certainly come a long way, but we know that we still have much further to go. Earlier this morning, we were part of the unveiling of the DNA expansion project at the Forensic Science Laboratory at the Eben Donges building here in Gqerberha. I want to commend the police for their hard work and commitment in terms of addressing the backlogs in the analysis of DNA retrieved from crime scenes. With this new and enhanced capacity here in the Eastern Cape Forensic Science Laboratory, we can expect faster turnaround times, especially with respect to the investigation of gender-based violence and femicide. I remember a few years ago when there was an outcry of the backlogs in DNA samples that were never processed. We committed then, at the urging and instance of the women of our country, that we should have a more functional laboratory here in the Eastern Cape so that DNA samples don't have to be processed in other provinces. Today here in Gqerberha we have our own very modern and with the latest technology here in Gqerberha And I'd like to applaud the Minister, I'd like to applaud the Premier and the MEC who made sure that we have this facility, but more especially the women of our country who see this as a great, great, great advance in ensuring that their rights as women are advanced. The improved forensic capabilities should be able to expedite investigations and help our police build stronger cases with solid evidence to enable successful conviction of perpetrators who continue to kill the women of our country, to abuse them, to rape them, and to do all sorts of really dastardly things against them. People who commit crimes against women and children have no place in our society. We depend on this and other forensic science laboratories across the country to indeed make sure that these criminals are put into prison behind bars, and that is where they should remain for the longest of time. It is impressive that the construction and the upgrade of this facility, which started during COVID-19 period in 2021, was completed 6 months ahead of the projected completion time, and it was done under budget. This shows real progress in the way that we do things. It is worth mentioning that this project is driven by a woman, the Divisional Commissioner for Detective and Forensic Services, Lieutenant General Kosi Sintumule. As we wrap up this Women's Month, we appreciate all women in the integrated security and law enforcement agencies across all the ranks in our security services. It is indeed these women who continue to make significant strides in what was previously considered the male-dominated environments in the security services. Women are increasingly present in national and intervention units, in special task forces, in the bomb disposal units, and tactical response units, search and rescue teams, flying squads, and highway patrol units. More and more women are becoming pilots. In the police service, we have 13 women who are pilots of our helicopters and our aeroplanes. We have women who are enforcement officers, who are in forensics, ballistics, and DNA analysis, and crime scene and reconstruction experts. They are correction officials who are here present today as well, mechanical engineers, motor vehicle reconstruction experts, and artisans. Indeed, there should no longer be any other area of the police and security work that is close to women, and no area where they are not able to go in and excel. Gone are the days where women were only employed in the administrative area and mere support areas in our security establishments. Let me commend the Ministry of Police and the management of the South African Police Service and all heads of other law enforcement agencies for ensuring that the goal of gender equality in the workplace is closer to becoming a reality. 5 out of 9 provincial commissioners in all our 9 provinces are women. That is a phenomenal achievement for our country. This is the result of hard work that led to well-deserved promotions. All these women who are in these positions, and even those who are standing before me, deserve where they should be. They have had to compete against men, and they have risen to the top and the pinnacle of our agencies. Let me also recognize and commend efforts by other departments like the SANDF, Correctional Services, Metro and Traffic Police, who are also working to make sure that women have equal opportunities for career advancement. We also have the border management officials here. We appreciate the struggles of women over the generations that laid the foundation for these achievements. We welcome this type of integration of multiple forces and capabilities led by women in the security and law enforcement space. It is imperative for all of us gathered here today, men and women, that we support these women who are willing to put in the work and make the sacrifices to ensure that everyone in South Africa is safe. Some of them even go on to put their own lives at risk to ensure that the people of South Africa are safe. While we have much further to go towards making gender equality a reality in all workplaces in South Africa, our integrated law enforcement agencies are indeed leading the way. So we salute you, the women who are in our law enforcement agencies. Today we woke up to a disaster that has befallen our country, where a number of people in Johannesburg were engulfed in a blaze and a fire that has resulted in the deaths of more than 60 people and many more injured. I would like to offer my deep condolences to the families of those who have passed away and those who are injured, and wish them speed recovery for those who are injured. My thoughts are also with the households and individuals who have lost their places where they live, their accommodation and possessions in this terrible incident. This is a great tragedy felt by families whose loved ones perished in this terrible manner, and our hearts go out to every person who is affected by this disaster. This incident calls on all of us, from the emergency services and other entities of government, to reach out to survivors, to help restore people's physical, psychological well-being, and to offer all material help and assistance to the residents affected by this. And I do hope that the investigations into the fire will enable communities and authorities to prevent a repeat of such a tragedy. Whilst today we reach the end of the month that we've been commemorating Women's Month, it is sad that this day ends with such a tragedy. But at the same time, we should also appreciate the enormous progress that has been made to advance the position of women in the police service, in our other security agencies as well. And we want to go on with this work of empowering our women and making sure that they do indeed occupy their rightful place. So to the women of our country we say, halala makosikazi, halala, halala zimbokoto, halala. Phambili nemakosikazi ase South Africa, phambili. Ngiyabonga.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise.